Part 4. The Underground Sanctuary. They escaped to an ancient underground facility Marcus discovered years ago. Zara opens up about her past and the prophecy that made her people. Fear her. Marcus reveals his own tragic history and why he lives in isolation. Their relationship deepens as they explore the mysterious alien technology in the ruins. They discover the facility was built by Zara's ancestors, revealing a connection to Earth. Part 5. The Choice of Freedom. Zara's people arrive, offering her a chance to return home if she submits to their control. Marcus prepares to fight for her freedom. Even against impossible odds, Zara must choose between her duty to her people and her love for Marcus. She uses her powers to forge a new path, breaking ancient cycles of control. The story ends with their decision to explore the galaxy together as equals. Part 1. The crash site discovery. The Arctic wind cut through Marcus Rivera's thermal suit like frozen razors as he approached the smoking crater. 3 days of tracking the energy signature had led him here, to this desolate stretch of ice where something had fallen from the stars. As a salvage pilot, he'd seen plenty of crashed vessels, but nothing like this. The ship was elegant despite its broken state, its hull shimmering with an otherworldly blue-silver metal that seemed to pulse with faint inner light. Steam rose from where the hot metal met the ice, creating an ethereal mist that danced around the wreckage. Marcus activated his scanner, sweeping the debris field for valuable components. The readings were unlike anything in his database. Then he heard a sound that made his blood freeze. A moan, distinctly feminine and filled with pain. Moving carefully around twisted metal, he found her. She was magnificent and terrifying in equal measure. Even lying injured among the wreckage, she stood nearly 8 feet tall, her limbs graceful but powerful. Her skin had an unusual crystalline quality, catching the aurora's light in prismatic patterns. Long, silver-white hair spread across the ice like spilled moonlight. Her eyes opened as he approached, deep violet orbs that held intelligence and wariness. She spoke in a language of musical tones before switching to broken human words. "Stay back," she whispered, her voice carrying an accent unlike any he'd heard. "I am dangerous." Marcus ignored the warning, kneeling beside her. A piece of hull had pierced her side, and her breathing was labored. "You're hurt. Let me help." She tried to push herself up, wincing as the movement reopened her wound. "You human. Why you not run?" "Because you need help," Marcus said simply, pulling medical supplies from his pack. "And I'm not the running type." Her violet eyes studied his face as he worked. The medical foam sealed her wound, and she gasped as the pain medication took effect. "Your people. They fear my kind." "I'm not most people," Marcus replied, carefully bandaging her side. His hands were gentle despite their calloused roughness. "What's your name?" She hesitated. Zara of the Xanthari." "I'm Marcus." "And right now, Zara, you're safe." As he helped her sit up, their faces came close. He caught a scent like ozone and starlight, and for a moment, time seemed suspended. Her crystalline skin reflected his face in fractured rainbows, and he saw something in her eyes soften surprise at his kindness, perhaps, or recognition of a kindred loneliness. "Why?" she asked softly. "Why help, enemy?" Marcus met her gaze steadily. "I don't see an enemy. I see someone who needs help." Zara's hand moved unconsciously to touch his where it rested on her arm. Her skin was warm despite its otherworldly appearance, and at the contact, both felt an electric spark of connection. "Your ship won't fly again," Marcus observed, glancing at the wreckage. "There's a storm coming. My station isn't far." Zara nodded slowly, her strength returning as the medical treatment took effect. "I accept your help, Marcus Rivera." The way she pronounced his name, with careful attention to each syllable, sent an unexpected warmth through his chest as they prepared to leave the crash site. Marcus couldn't shake the feeling that finding Zara would change everything. The way she moved with predatory grace despite her injuries, the intelligence burning in her violet eyes, the careful control she maintained over what he sensed was tremendous. Power, all of it fascinated him. "The storm will be fierce," he warned as they began the trek to his station. Zara looked up at the darkening sky, then at him with something that might have been a smile. "I have weathered worse storms, Marcus Rivera, but never with a companion who showed kindness to a stranger." The first snowflakes began to fall as they disappeared into the white wilderness. Two unlikely figures against the vast Arctic landscape, bound together by chance and a growing recognition that neither was quite what they seemed. Part 2. Sanctuary in the storm. Marcus's research station was modest but well equipped, a haven of warmth and technology carved into the permafrost. As they entered, Zara had to duck through the doorway, her height making the space feel suddenly small and intimate. "Home sweet home," Marcus said, helping her to the medical bay. The lights automatically brightened, revealing the care he'd put into making this isolated place livable. Books lined shelves alongside scientific equipment, and personal touches, a guitar in the corner. Photographs of distant mountains spoke of a man who valued both solitude and beauty. Zara's eyes took in everything with keen interest. "You live alone here, always?" 5 years now," Marcus replied, preparing a more thorough medical scan. "Sometimes solitude chooses you." As he worked, she studied his profile, the strong jaw shadowed with stubble, the concentration in his dark eyes, the gentle precision of his hands. There was pain in his past, she could sense it, a kindred recognition of someone who understood exile. "My people," Zara said quietly as he treated her wounds. "They would not understand this kindness you show." "What are they like?" "Your people?" Her expression darkened. "Warriors, conquerors. They believe strength is everything." She paused. "I am different. Too strong for them to control, too dangerous to ignore." The medical scanner revealed internal injuries that would have killed a human, but were healing at an accelerated rate. Marcus marveled at her physiology while trying to hide his amazement. "Dangerous how?" he asked, applying a dermal regenerator to a cut on her arm. Zara's skin shimmered, and for a moment Marcus felt a presence touch the edges of his mind, gentle, curious, but with depths of power that made him dizzy. She pulled back immediately. "I'm sorry," she whispered. "I did not mean." "It's okay," Marcus said, steadying himself against the medical table. "That was you in my head?" She nodded, shame coloring her features. "Telepathic abilities are rare among my kind. Mine are unusually strong. The elders want to use me as a weapon, to break enemy minds. I ran." Outside, the storm intensified, rattling the station's reinforced walls. Marcus finished treating her injuries, acutely aware of how her presence filled the small space with an energy that was both calming and electric. "You must be exhausted," he said. "The guest quarters are, Marcus," she interrupted, catching his hand as he turned away. Her touch sent warmth racing up his arm. "Thank you. For this sanctuary. For not fearing me." Their eyes met, and the air between them charged with unspoken possibility. She was an alien warrior princess who could tear through minds, and he was a human hermit who'd chosen isolation over connection. Yet in this moment, with the storm raging outside and warmth surrounding them, the differences felt less important than the recognition passing between them. "I've seen enough real monsters to know you're not one," Marcus said softly. Her crystalline skin caught the medical bay's lights, creating patterns like captured starlight across her features. "You do not know what I have done, what I might do. I know what I see right now, he replied, stepping closer. Someone brave enough to run from a life that would make her into something she doesn't want to be. Zara's breath caught. No one had ever seen her choice as bravery rather than betrayal. My people would call you foolish for trusting me. Let them, Marcus said. I trust what I feel. The storm's howl grew louder and the lights flickered. In the uncertain illumination, Zara moved closer, her height bringing her face level with his as she bent down. What do you feel, Marcus Rivera? That finding you wasn't an accident, he whispered. That maybe we both needed someone to understand what it's like to be powerful and alone. Her hand cupped his face, her crystalline skin warm against his cheek. You speak as one who knows solitude's weight. Too well, he admitted. But maybe we don't have to carry it alone anymore. Outside, the Arctic wind screamed its fury, but inside the station, two souls found unexpected warmth in each other's presence. As they shared a simple meal, their conversation deepened, revealing the scars that had driven them both to the edges of civilized space and the growing hope that together they might find something neither had dared to seek: acceptance, understanding, and perhaps something more. Hunters in the night, the attack came at dawn, when the storm's fury had finally exhausted itself and the world lay wrapped in deceptive silence. Marcus woke to his security system's urgent beeping, adrenaline instantly flooding his system as he recognized the energy signatures approaching through the snow. Zara, he called, rushing to the guest quarters where she'd finally allowed herself to rest. She was already awake, her violet eyes reflecting the red warming lights. They found me. Her voice carried resignation and a deeper fear. 3 hunters, elite. Marcus was already moving, pulling weapons from concealed compartments throughout the station. How long do we have? Minutes. She stood, her full height making her seem like an ancient goddess preparing for war. Marcus, you must leave. They will not harm humans unless they're protecting you, he finished. Not happening. Their eyes met across the small room, and in that moment, an understanding passed between them deeper than words. He would not abandon her. She would not let him face this alone. The first energy blast shook the station's reinforced walls. Through the security monitors, Marcus saw them 3 figures in powered armor moving with inhuman grace through the snow. They were smaller than Zara but radiated deadly competence. The weapons locker, Marcus said, tossing Zara a high-powered rifle designed for Arctic predators. Can you? I can fight, she said simply, checking the weapon with professional efficiency. But Marcus, if I use my abilities, truly use them ... She paused. I may not be able to control what happens. Another blast rocked the station. Emergency lighting bathed them in crimson as systems began failing. Then we do this the old-fashioned way, Marcus said, moving toward the main corridor. The hunters breached the outer airlock with surgical precision. Through the station's corridors, Marcus could hear them communicating in the same musical language Zara had first spoken. Her translations came in urgent whispers. They're mapping the layout, looking for life signs. Her crystalline skin began to glow faintly. Marcus, they're not just here to retrieve me. They have orders to eliminate any humans who've seen too much. The implication hit him like ice water. They're going to kill me anyway. Yes, she said softly. I am sorry. Your kindness has doomed you. Marcus checked his weapons charge. Then let's make sure they regret it. The first hunter rounded the corner like flowing shadow. Marcus's shot took its center mass, the energy discharge lighting the corridor in brilliant blue. The figure stumbled but didn't fall. Its armor absorbing most of the blast. Zara moved with fluid grace, her rifle spitting precise shots that found gaps in the hunter's protection. When the second attacker flanked them, she spun with inhuman speed. her hand connecting with its helmet in a strike that sent the figure crashing into the wall. But the third hunter was clever, using the station's layout against them. A flashbang grenade filled the corridor with blinding light and deafening noise. In the confusion, Marcus felt powerful hands grab him, pulling him into position as a shield. "Surrender, exile," the hunter spoke in accented human words. "Come peacefully, and the human dies quickly." Zara's violet eyes blazed with fury. Her crystalline skin began to pulse with inner light, and Marcus felt the pressure in his mind that meant she was fighting not to unleash her telepathic abilities. "Let him go," she said, her voice carrying harmonics that made the hunter's grip loosen involuntarily. "He is innocent in this." "Innocence ended when he aided your escape," the hunter replied. "The Elder's judgment is final." That's when Marcus felt it, Zara's mental presence touching his mind, not invasive but asking permission. In that instant of contact, he understood her plan and nodded almost imperceptibly. "You want me?" Zara said, stepping forward. "Then face me without hiding behind him." As the hunter's attention focused on her, Marcus struck backward with his elbow, while Zara's telepathic blast hit the alien's mind. The hunter released him with a scream of mental anguish, and Zara's rifle found its mark in the same moment. Silence fell over the station. Emergency lights flickered over three motionless forms in advanced armor. Marcus and Zara stood breathing heavily, adrenaline slowly fading as reality set in. "Are you hurt?" Zara asked, her hands gentle as she checked him for injuries. "I'm fine," Marcus assured her, though his mind still tingled from their brief connection. "But they'll send more." She nodded gravely. "Many more. And next time, they will not underestimate either of us." As they tended each other's minor wounds, the intimacy of shared danger drew them closer. When Zara's trembling hands revealed how much using her abilities had cost her, Marcus pulled her into his arms without thinking. "It's over," he whispered against her hair. "For now, it's over." In his embrace, the alien warrior princess who could shatter minds allowed herself a moment of vulnerability, finding in his strength something she'd never known she needed, not someone to fight her battles, but someone to stand beside her in the darkness. The underground sanctuary, the hidden facility, lay buried beneath centuries of ice, accessible only through a crevasse Marcus had discovered during his second year in the Arctic. As they descended through crystalline passages carved from living rock, Zara's skin began to pulse with recognition. "This place," she whispered, her voice echoing strangely in the vast chamber they entered. "I know this place." Ancient symbols covered the walls, glowing faintly in response to Zara's presence. The architecture was clearly alien but felt organic, as if grown rather than built. Massive corridors branched off into darkness, and the air hummed with dormant energy. "I found it by accident 3 years ago," Marcus explained, leading her through passages lit by their footsteps. "The scanners couldn't penetrate the ice, but when I fell through that crevasse ... He gestured at the wonders surrounding them. "I've been studying it ever since. The technology is unlike anything in our databases." Zara moved like she was walking through a dream, her hands trailing along walls that responded to her touch with ripples of light. "The first ships," she murmured. "The generation that left our homeworld eons ago. We thought they had died in the void." They reached a central chamber where a crystalline formation pulsed with soft radiance. Marcus had set up a small research station here, his equipment looking primitive beside the alien architecture. "You've made this place home," Zara observed, noting the sleeping area, the carefully organized supplies, the personal touches that made the ancient chamber livable. "Sometimes I come here to think, to remember what wonder feels like." Marcus activated a heating unit, and warm light pushed back the chamber's chill. "I never imagined it would mean something to someone else." As they settled beside the crystal formation, Zara's earlier composure finally cracked. The weight of exile, of being hunted, of the growing feelings between them, it all surfaced at once. "I cannot return to my people," she said quietly. "Not after what I am. What I might become." Marcus moved closer, drawn by her pain. "What are you so afraid of becoming?" Her violet eyes met his in the crystal's glow. "My grandmother had abilities like mine. They used her to crack the minds of entire enemy fleets, turned her into a weapon that ended wars with thoughts alone. When she finally broke under the weight of all those shattered souls she'd touched," Zara's voice caught, "she took her own life rather than be used again." "That's not your fate," Marcus said firmly. "You have choices. Do I?" She turned to face him fully, her crystalline skin reflecting his image in fractal patterns. "Every day I feel the power growing stronger. Sometimes I hear thoughts I shouldn't. Sometimes I feel the urge to reach out, to touch minds around me. What happens when I can no longer control it?" Marcus reached out, covering her hand with his. "Then you'll have someone who understands what it's like to have power you didn't ask for." Her brow furrowed in confusion. "You are not telepathic." "No," he agreed. "But I am other things." His voice grew quiet, vulnerable. "My family died in a transport crash 5 years ago. My wife, my daughter. I was supposed to be on that ship, but work kept me groundside." He met her gaze. "I could have saved them. Had the skills, the equipment, the connections. But I was too busy with my important research to go home for one weekend." Zara's free hand touched his face gently. "You blame yourself for their death. I blame myself for having the power to prevent it and choosing not to use it." His voice was raw with old pain. "So I came here to the edge of everything, where my choices can't hurt anyone else. Yet you chose to save me," she pointed out softly. "Because saving someone felt like remembering who I used to be," he admitted. "Before the guilt. Before the isolation." They sat in silence for a moment, two wounded souls recognizing their shared scars. The ancient chamber pulsed around them, responding to emotions neither fully understood. "Marcus," Zara said finally, "when I touched your mind during the fight, I felt your memories, your love for them, your courage in staying to fight for me." Her eyes shimmered with unshed tears. "You are not responsible for fate's cruelty." "Neither are you," he replied. "Power doesn't make you a monster, Zara. Choice does." Their faces were close now, drawn together by shared pain and growing understanding. When Zara's lips met his, the kiss was gentle at first, a question asked and answered. Then deeper, as passion long denied broke through the barriers they'd both built around their hearts. Her crystalline skin warmed under his touch, and he marveled at how human she felt in his arms despite her otherworldly beauty. They made love with the desperate intensity of two people who'd found unexpected sanctuary in each other, their bodies joining as their minds had already begun to merge, afterward. As they lay entwined in the crystal's warm glow, Marcus traced patterns on her luminous skin. "What happens now?" Zara's fingers combed through his hair. "Now we choose our future together. Whatever comes." Outside, snow continued to fall on a world that didn't know two hearts had just found their home in the most unlikely place of all, an ancient sanctuary built by her ancestors, where love bloomed in the shadow of exile and found strength enough to challenge the darkness ahead. The choice of freedom, the Xanthari, fleet arrived like a storm of living metal against Earth's pale sky, their ships casting shadows across the Arctic landscape. From the underground sanctuary's concealed observation post, Marcus and Zara watched the elegant vessels settle onto the ice with predatory grace. 12 ships, Zara observed, her voice carefully controlled. "The entire 5th battle group. They're taking no chances this time." Marcus's jaw tightened as he studied the deployment patterns through his scopes. How many warriors? Enough to level a city. Her crystalline skin had gone pale, light barely flickering beneath its surface. They've come to offer terms, not to fight. That's worse. A communication array deployed from the lead ship, broadcasting on frequencies that made the ancient chamber's crystals resonate. When the voice came through Marcus's modified translator, it carried the weight of absolute authority. Zara of the Zenthari, daughter of the third house, blood of the ancient flame, present yourself for judgment. Zara closed her eyes, pain creasing her features. My father's voice. Your father is their leader? War commander of the Fifth Fleet. He who gave me life now comes to claim it back. She turned to Marcus, violet eyes bright with unshed tears. I must go to them. Like hell you will, Marcus said flatly. Marcus, listen to me. Her hands cupped his face, thumb tracing his cheekbone with infinite gentleness. They offer terms because they still hope to use my abilities. If I surrender willingly, they will allow you to live. If I resist ... then we resist together. The communication crackled again. You have 1 hour to consider our mercy, daughter. After that, all who harbor you share your fate. Marcus was already moving, activating hidden systems throughout the chamber. This facility has defenses. Your ancestors built this place to last. Against ice and time, not against a battle fleet, Zara protested. But even as she spoke, her hands moved across the crystal formations, ancient patterns awakening under her touch. Although ... The chamber responded to her presence with growing intensity. Lights raced through crystalline veins in the walls, and the deep thrumming of awakening power filled the air. Marcus felt it on his skin like electricity before a storm. What's happening? The first ships, Zara breathed, wonder replacing despair in her voice. They didn't just build a shelter here. They built a beacon, a place of sanctuary protected by the old laws. What old laws? Before she could answer, her father's voice boomed through the chamber, no longer filtered through technology. He stood in the entrance they thought hidden, flanked by 6 armored warriors. War Commander Keth was an imposing figure even by Zenthari standards, his ceremonial armor gleaming with the honors of 100 campaigns. His face bore the same crystalline bone structure as his daughter, but where Zara's features spoke of beauty and compassion, his radiated cold authority. My wayward child, he said, his words echoing in the vast space. Do you truly believe ancient stones can protect you from your duty? Father. Zara rose to her full height, placing herself between Marcus and the warriors. I claim sanctuary under the first law. This place was built by those who came before, who established the codes you have sworn to uphold. Keth's eyes narrowed. Sanctuary applies only to those of pure blood who have not betrayed their people. I betrayed nothing but your ambition to use me as a weapon. You betrayed everything. Keth's composure cracked, revealing the pain beneath his anger. Your gifts could end the war with the Nexus Coalition, could save thousands of our warriors. Instead, you waste your power protecting this ... human. Marcus stepped forward despite Zara's protective gesture. She's not wasting anything. She's choosing who she wants to be. Keth's gaze fixed on him with contempt. And you would know this how primitive? You who cannot even protect your own species from itself. Because I know what it's like to have power and be afraid of using it wrong, Marcus replied steadily. Your daughter isn't afraid of being weak. She's afraid of becoming like you. The insult hung in the air like a blade. Keth's hand moved to his weapon, but Zara's voice stopped him. Enough. Her skin blazed with inner light, and the crystal formations around them responded with harmonic resonance that made the warriors step back. I choose my path, Father, not the elders. Not you, me. Then you choose exile, Kef said coldly. Death to your bloodline. Erasure from the histories. I choose love, Zara replied simply. I choose someone who sees my strength and doesn't want to chain it for his own ends. The chamber's crystals pulsed brighter, and Marcus felt Zara's mental presence touch his mind, not invasive, but inviting. In that moment of connection, he understood what she was offering and what it would cost them both. Together? She asked, her voice echoing in his thoughts. Together, he confirmed aloud. Their joined minds reached out to the ancient systems around them. Zara's telepathic gift combining with Marcus's technical knowledge. The facility awakened fully for the first time in millennia, its original purpose revealing itself as protective barriers flowed into place and warning signals blazed across. Xanthari Fleet Communications. The first sanctuary remains inviolate, came a new voice ancient. Recorded, speaking from systems that had waited eons for this moment. Those who claim its protection under bond of love and mutual choice are granted the freedom of the void. Let none who honor the old ways break this covenant. Kef's face went white with shock. Around him, his warriors lowered their weapons involuntarily as genetic memory responded to ancient authority. This is not over, daughter, he said finally. The elders will not accept this precedent. Then the elders will have to learn what I've learned, Zara replied, her hand finding Marcus's. That some things are worth more than control. As the Xanthari forces withdrew, Marcus and Zara stood together in the crystal chamber, no longer fugitives but pioneers of something new. Around them, the ancient sanctuary hummed with purpose, its long vigil finally ended. So what happens now? Marcus asked, pulling her close. Zara smiled, her skin glowing with joy and possibility. Now we explore the galaxy as partners. The first ships left maps to places beyond the reach of both our peoples. Places where we can build something new. Together? Always together, she confirmed, sealing the promise with a kiss that tasted of starlight and infinite possibility. Outside, Earth's aurora danced across the sky, but within the crystal chamber, two hearts had found their own eternal flame, a love that would carry them beyond the stars, beyond the reach of those who would use them, into a future they would write together among the endless void. Their story was just beginning. The end.